Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm actually down in Tetbury in the Cotswolds, which is Gloucestershire, and I'm actually here down by the Tetbury goods shed, which here it is here I think is a really good starting point because there's a car park here which is free parking. So there are car parks in the main town itself, but they're usually short stay, couple of hours, not expensive, so you can still park there anyway. But I wanted to come down and look at this. Unfortunately, I think the main goods shed is closed today, which is an art centre. But they do have some, some old rail stuff here and things like that as well, and a cafe, which is always a good start. Although I think I'm probably going to head into town first to get some coffee. There are some nice walks down here though, if you fancy it. So this is the art centre around the front of the building for the goods shed, but yeah, unfortunately, I've come on a day when it's closed, which is a bit of a shame. Got a photographic exhibition in there during January, various other things. So yeah, cafe's not open, that's not open, but hey, we can always come back another day. So the town centre is actually only a couple of minutes walk from the car park, so I don't mind parking down here. And we should actually find our first location on the way into town. So about a minute from here. I do believe as well, down this road here somewhere, they do have go-kart, or not go-kart, but kart racing, a bit like the Red Bull stuff. People send their vehicles madly down hills and crash into things and all the rest of it. So there's a number of events they have here, and that's one of them. There you go, if you fancy a walk along the stream and old railway line. There's one there for you right here. Probably only about a mile and a half, 2 miles, but through some nice countryside. So Tetbury is actually set in an area of outstanding natural beauty, and it's probably, I think, the second largest town in the Cotswolds, and is actually home to His Royal Highness Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, and his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and they're based literally about a mile or so outside of Tetbury. The town itself was an important market town in the Cotswolds, and actually dates back to over 1300 years. Nowadays it's just boutiques, antique shops, cafes, and a really nice place to visit, and hopefully a few quirky things. So this very picturesque cobbled street in Tetbury is called Chipping Steps, and these are old weaver cottages for the town. There's also a chapel cemetery here which all dates back to 17th to 18th century. With the road construction in 1781, they actually had to raise it by over 2 metres. So this is the market house in Tepri. It's a grade 1 listed building, built back in 1655, and it's actually still owned by the same people that built it back then. And it's actually still used today for markets and stalls and things like that. But it's cold, I'm thirsty, and there's plenty of cafes in Tetbury, so time for a drink. Cheers, Alex. Thank you. So this is the parish church of St Mary's in Tetbury. Whilst this church was built between 1777 and 1781, there's actually been a Christian place of worship on this site since 681 AD, so a very historical site when it comes to religion here. It truly is a beautiful church, and quite unusual from the ones I've seen before, because it's got these original high box pews in dark oak, and they reckon they can seat about 400 people in here. So yeah, it's probably a bigger church than the town actually needs, but nonetheless so beautiful. Just off to the side as well, there was a little bit of a exhibit of the history of Tetbury, so well worth a look in there if you're here. So my next stop is St Saviour's Church. So I've just taken a little walk through an alley from the main street, and that brings you out here by St Saviour's Church. Now you might think it unusual to have two churches in a town of this size, especially as the other one was so grand, but this one is considered the poor church. So those that couldn't afford a seat in St Mary's, there was St Saviour's. It really is a beautiful church. I'm not sure if I do prefer the intimacy of this church to the other one. Unfortunately, all the lights are off. I managed to find a switch by the door, which turned on one set of lights, but I can't find a switch that activates the other ones. Has this beautiful ceiling. Gorgeous stained glass window at the back. Over in the corner, there's a beautiful font. Isn't that a stunning font? All set off as well with a dove. So tell me, which church do you prefer, this one or St Mary's? Let me know down in the comments. Would love to know what you think. Of course, one of the things you can do whilst you're here is to visit the Tepri Police Museum and Courtroom. Unfortunately, it's closed whilst I'm here because it's winter, but it's just off the main high street. Yeah, it's sadly closed today. I think it reopens in February and only open on certain days, so check before you come for sure. Now, I did mention that Prince Charles actually has a home close to here. Unfortunately, they also have a shop in town. So I think if you want a little bit of the royals, let's go and have a look at Highgrove's shop. So yeah, not the biggest town in the world, but a rather beautiful one, and definitely one worth exploring. So probably worth combining this as well with something nearby. So you've got things like the Westonbirt Arboretum, beautiful arboretum, and of course Highgrove House does open its gardens occasionally, so worth checking that out. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Where else would you like me to go in the Cotswolds? Is there somewhere you know of you'd like me to explore for you? Definitely going to be doing more. It's such a vast area, so many beautiful places that I'm going to be visiting more often. So let me know down in the comments below. And just to thank you again as well to my patrons. Those are the people that support me. Buy me a nice cup of coffee like Alex did today. Support the channel, as well as getting rewards back again. So at the time of creating this video, you've got a chance of winning a special coin from my previous video, and that's for my first 10 patrons who sign up. Plus there's the welcome cards as well. So check out my Patreon page if you haven't already, if you want to support me. But there are other ways of supporting me too if you want to. You can click on like on this video for starters. You can subscribe here on YouTube, it's free, and share this video with your friends. Otherwise it just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching if you still are, and we'll see you next time. Take care now, bye bye.